familiar with the general overview of Max, now you get into MTune, and I highly encourage everybody to open the software even before you get the ECU and just start playing around in here and trying to understand how it works. So quickly, I'm going to go through and set up, just show you some features on here that I thought were useful. So first one, obviously come in, select your model. I got a Pro ECU, so you select that. That changes a few things. Over here, only the bare minimum is going to be shown here, and many menus are hidden. So in order to turn them on, now the quickest way I found for, say, E-throttle, which I want to have an electronic throttle body, is you go to Outputs, and you go to Output Config. This is a huge tab here. And you're going to, the way I think about this is think about backwards. Start with the thing you want to control, come back into the ECU with a wire, that's your output. Go inside the ECU, does it need a manual wire to turn it on and off, or does it need the ECU to control it? That's your thought process. So here, let's go in, I've got an H-bridge motor. This is, H-bridge means it opens one way and closes the other way. So you come in here, you select E-throttle, boom, look at that. We got an E-throttle tab up here. So you gotta do this for both. So select this real quick, and boom. Now we've got GPO pin 11 and 12 wired to our motor. Okay, you're gonna have your positive and negative go there, so it can turn it on and close it. You bring this. Now all of a sudden you get a lot of motorsports stuff for pedal position. This has a wizard, lots of good stuff. You can learn about these independently. This video is just showing you how to get things to show up here. So back to your output, these are kind of default loaded in fuel pump radiator fan. You can see that like when I did that, I have my own e-throttle, but sometimes under here, not everything you enable here is going to show up. So let's just say a boost control solenoid actually shows up and you get a ton of stuff in here and what to do. But if you do let's just say a transmission sequential solenoid, you've got a manual sequential transmission, and this is the down. Nothing shows up here because there's nothing else to control within the Max. This is going to be activated by some input that you give it. So that's the difference there, that not every time you turn something on here, it shows up here. Okay, next step. Let's say we want to control something like a exhaust valve. So real quick, what you do is you come in here and you find the next closest thing. For us, this is going to be actuator. Actuator will close and actuator open. And you can see I've got another little control down here. I want to enable current sensing for current 2, because if you go back here, motor 1 is my e-throttle, motor 2 is my actuator. So current sensing means that when it is opening and it hits a stop, it will current will spike and it will stop. And so you don't have to program anything else. Max has all that built in for you, which is really cool. So now, again, you take in your valve from your exhaust, you run a wire into the MaxxECU under this pin of 13 and 14. So now, how do you turn it on? So you can turn it on through a switch, where you just activate any one of these pins, and you say actuator 1 target state, and then it's a push on and a push off. So whenever this wire that you wire to digital input number 9, it will turn on until that H-bridge sees current, and then shut it off, so the valve will be open. And then you push it again, it'll close it. So again, all that's built in, because you use the H motor function, the H-bridge function here. If you had it this way under one of these outputs, it would just turn it open and it would never shut it. So the logic to be able to shut it, positive, negative, by pushing the same button, is built into Max. Super cool. The other thing is you can come in here and let's say I don't want to do that. Let's just say I want to automate it. So one of the things that's really cool is this advanced tab. There's tons of stuff in here, but some of the coolest things are these two tabs: user tables and internal outputs. Internal outputs means you're coding the ECU internally to turn that on. User table means you're setting up what you want it to do. So for here, these are just disabled. You have 20 of them. You can just enable it. You can name it exhaust cutout. Let's just call it that. And then down here is a set of criteria. And so right now, when the exhaust is closed, it's a 0. When it's a 1, it's open. And that's true for any state in MaxxECU. So let's just say I want to have this every time I'm over 5,000 RPM and I'm under wide open throttle, I want to have the valve open. So I change these. This is the user state. Now this isn't linked to anything yet. So it's just sitting here as a table, do nothing. So what you have to do is you come down to virtual output and you can describe this as exhaust valve. And again, this is really cool because watch when I move, just click into a different cell, it lights up here. So now I can see all of my internal outputs, which is really nice. So here you can select what do you want it to do. Well, I want the RPM. I could do it by RPM, but I want that user table I just made up. So what you can come down to is user table 1. There's your exhaust that we just made. And whenever it is equal to 1, which is active from that table, because we had zeros and ones in there. When it's 0, it'll be inactive. When it hits 1, it'll be active. Then it will do what? Well, nothing right now. It's just going to sit here. You got to link it to the input to control, which is actuator 1 target state. So now, when it sees a 1 in that table, your exhaust valve kicks on. Now, here's the really cool part. A little more advanced and this is why I personally think MaxxECU is one of the best ECUs to buy in terms of configurability. What if I'm sitting in a parking lot and I want that exhaust valve open and I want to scare some kids behind my car? I can go over here and I have a bunch of Boolean expressions to where A or B, A and B or C, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Even being able to write your own. And they have some good help in here on how to write this. But let's just say I want to be able to do this from my Android head unit, which is running M-, which is another amazing feature from Max. And I have a Bluetooth switch, and I want to turn it on with a Bluetooth switch. You come over here and come in to switching. Sometimes I like to just type BT. There it is. Bluetooth switch 1. So what I've linked on my M-, same thing, equal to 1. So now, when it sees that automatically in that table, it's going to turn on. Or if I just move it from 0 to 1 in the M- head unit, it's going to turn on. And that's how you control an output, both internally or manually. Stay tuned and please share this video with people. I really want to get better videos out for Max users. There isn't a ton out there in terms of videos, but very good help menu. And I'm going to go over just these small details and small video or quick videos just to try to help familiarize people with it. Hope this helps. Talk to you soon.